All right, I'm on hole number 8 of the Easter Open tournament and Wednesday's qualifying round of the rookie division. Let's go to hole number 8, Golf Clash Notebook. Love this site. If anybody doesn't use this site, if you're watching my channel, I'm surprised. I mean, there's all kinds of good info here. I mean, anything you want to know, or like if you're looking at your clubs, if you're new and you know it costs a lot to upgrade some of these clubs, and you're like, hey, I got a bunch of cards for this. Is it worth upgrading? You know, you can come here and see like how many. You can do the math on how many club cards you'd need to get it to a level, you know, where it's usable, and then start thinking about, you know, investing some coins into that particular club. All right, I'm coming at this with a sniper and a katana, and I'm going at it from this area right here. And the reason I'm going here is because I can wedge my blue rings up in this area right here, and I have a consistent landing area every time. You know, I can work on that spot every time and try and get it to go towards the hole. Whereas if you're out here in the clear, it's harder to be consistent. One time you go, wow, that was great, and the next time you go, hey, I did the same stuff, but that's because last time you were there and this time you were here. And so being consistent on this, and this is a hole right here that a lot of people, this par 3 is going to eat some people's lunches. There's going to be a bunch of people that this hole is going to ruin their round. I'm going to take a sniper and a katana. I like the fact that there's some holes in here that we can use a katana on instead of having to pull out a big ball on every hole. But save your good balls. You know, if you come across really good balls, you need to hoard those suckers so that in the tournament you go, hey, on this hole, wow, I'm going to need one of those big ones, or you'll be able to pull it out of the bag. I see people waste good balls all the time in one-on-one play, especially down in the lower tours. You know, and it may be just a simple fact that they just don't, you know, they don't realize the importance of these balls, or like some holes, like this ball works better on that hole than this ball. Yep, baby. Huh?
I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too.
I'm gonna dig you up before you go to bed.
Yep. All right. It's a tough putt from down there. The problem on this is that if you overshoot the green, it gets flat down there, and it's hard to get, and you won't get on the fringe. And you got to take a putt from the very bottom of that green area, and that is bad. Okay, 4-5. That's about 4. I'm going to hit it nice and easy. I'm just going to put it just enough to make it go in that direction. And I hit it great to the right. Great to the right. Great to the right. And that was a great to the right. But easy birdie. I don't get hole-in-ones on this hole very often. This is a tough hole to get hole-in-ones on because it's a very inconsistent hole. It's a very tough hole to get hole-in-ones on. You can see what I'm talking about down there at the bottom of the hill. This is a tough putt, and our opponent didn't make it. That's why it's so important to be consistent on this hole, because if you overshoot the hole and you roll down that hill, it's tough. And you can tell that this is an older hole too, because the newer holes, most of the newer holes, there really isn't a spot on the green that you can't have a putt at it. And some of the older holes, if our opponent would have been even a little bit further down on the green, they probably wouldn't even have had a shot at it. But you don't want to overshoot this. And what I'm talking about on this hole, let's go back and look at that hole real quick. When you're down here on the bottom part of the green, somewhere like right in this area right here, the hole starts to go this way, so that there's a hillside. And you'd think a lot of times, you know, you pick up speed on that hillside and it just roll you onto the fringe, and then you can take a chip up there. But what happens is that here's the way the green goes. Here's the flagpole, and you're on the flat area, and then it drops down, and then here's that fringe. Well, right before it gets to the fringe, it flattens out. It almost goes like this. And so your ball ends up in this trough, and it won't get to the fringe right here. So it forces you to have to take a putt. So it's not like a lot of holes, unless you hit it with a lot of speed where you can blast past that. What happens is if your ball is just kind of rolling naturally, it'll almost always stay on the green here and give you that same crappy putt that our opponent just had. So it's really important that if you do mishit this, you mishit it and you're short up here, because then you still have a chip. But if you get down here in the bottom and you get stuck on the green, you could actually have an overpowered putt like our opponent, and you're in big, big trouble. So if you're playing this hole, and if you're having problems and you've been in that spot where our opponent's at, it's better to be short up here and just barely get on, and then barely be on the fringe here and take a short chip for that birdie than it is to have to work it from down here. But for me, I find that this gives me at least a very consistent shot. I'm at least looking at hole-in-one every time, even though it's still a low percentage shot and I don't hit them all the time. And you do have a shot at hole-in-one here, and like I said, it's pretty consistent. All right, that was hole number 8 of the Easter Open tournament and Wednesday's qualifying round of the Rookie Division. Thanks for watching.